Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So friends, after wrapping up our discussion on understanding all the verticals, parameters of Rahu and its functioning, its results in our life, where we already have had our discussion on Rahu's placement in different zodiac signs, Rahu's placement in different houses, different nakshatra. Now let's try to decode the true intent and functioning of the Rahu in your life. So friends, if someone claims that this astrologer can predict the true functioning of the Rahu or the 8th house in someone's life, so I'm not going to believe that claim, because Rahu and the 8th house, they in itself represents the mysteries. They represents the surprise element, and they also represents the part of the prarabdha, the part of the destiny which needs to be endured in this lifetime. So here, while decoding the dispositor, I'm not saying that we can predict the accuracy of the happening of the event. Through dispositor, we will get to know about the strength of the Rahu. We will get to know about the intent or the true nature of the Rahu, because there is one shadow side of Rahu where it can create all the illusion, addiction, bad company, and it can corrupt your character. And there's one aspect of Rahu where it can actually make you genius. It can actually make you very futuristic. So it's not an exaggeration to say this thing, that if Rahu represents the fruit, the digestion of that fruit is the dispositor and dispositor's strength in the chart. So friends, in this video we will try to look at all the parameters of Rahu and its dispositor, like what could be the parameters via which you can say that the dispositor, or in a way Rahu strengthened, Rahu's malefic, Rahu's benefic. So all aspect we will try to decode in this discussion, and at the end I will also try to include some of the globally well-known personalities and their chart as well, that how for their global success Rahu and the dispositor was responsible for that. So okay friends, now after this we will switch to the narration part to decode the dispositor of Rahu. So friends, the master key to desire, karma and future evolution is the state and dignity of Rahu's dispositor in your birth chart. Now comes the question that why Rahu's dispositor is more important than Rahu itself. So in classical Jyotish, Rahu has no physical body, no drishti of its own. It borrows expression entirely through the sign lord, means its dispositor, the house of the dispositor, the strength, dignity and agenda of that planet. Rahu in pure terms is hunger. The dispositor decides what kind of hunger, how it acts and where it leads the soul. This is why two people with Rahu in the same sign can live radically different lives. Now friends, talking about the Shastras view on this, the classical foundation. So from Bhrat Prashara Hura Shastra, it has been written that Rahu Ketu Phalam Tesham Swa Graha Dhinamevacha. Rahu and Ketu give results according to the strength and placement of their dispositor. So, Bhrat Prashara Hura Shastra establishes Rahu as a dependent graha. From Phal Deepika, Rahu Swami Yatha Drishta Tatha Phal Prada Smrataha. Rahu gives results in the manner of the planet ruling the sign it occupies. And even from the Jaimini Sutras, Jaimini emphasizes Rashi-based karmic flow, making the dispositor the carrier of karmic agenda rather than Rahu itself. So now comes the spiritual logic to it, like why Rahu must borrow a dispositor. Because Rahu represents unfinished karma, future cravings, unlived experiences, illusions that feel necessary. But Rahu cannot act independently. It is like electric current. The wire, which is a dispositor, decides where the current flows and what it powers. Again friends, the whole objective and intent of this discussion is not about telling you the predictive part or the accuracy of the prediction. It has got more to do with doing the diagnosis, that after understanding Rahu's dispositor in your chart, and even after like listening to this video, at least you will be in this state to say that my Rahu is malefic or my Rahu is benefic, my Rahu is strong or my Rahu is a distraction. I'm sure this video will serve that purpose. So now comes the question that what could be the psychological meaning of Rahu's dispositor? So that's very simple. Like if you will find that the dispositor's condition is strong and sattvic, like for example, Rahu is placed in the sign of the Jupiter, and the dispositor like Jupiter is like exalted and it is like sattvic. So then that means the psychological manifestation, if you will find the dispositor's condition to be strong and sattvic, it is going to be focused ambition and a very clean desire. You will not find any propaganda, any hidden agenda or biasness over there. See, that is what the beauty of decoding Rahu is. Even the most malefic demon graha can also act sattvic only if this is what the strings which are pulling the energy of the Rahu from behind the scene, which is its dispositor, if that is strong and sattvic planet. Now let's say if the dispositor's condition is going to be weak and afflicted, then this will give a psychological manifestation like anxiety, addiction, confusion. If the dispositor's condition is going to be that it is going to be a Raj Yoga planet, then obviously the psychological manifestation is going to be obsession for the fame and the validation hunger. If the Rahu's dispositor is going to be Dushtana Lord, like 6th, 8th or 12th Lord, so there might be compulsive survival patterns. If it is going to be the Moksha Lord, so spiritual bypassing or forced renunciation. So most Rahu related anxiety is not Rahu's fault. It is the dispositor failing to hold the desire properly. Now friends, just a basic overview of that. If any of these planet is going to be the dispositor of Rahu, what to expect? For example, if Sun is the dispositor of Rahu, like your Rahu is placed in the Leo sign, so this could tell about hunger for identity, authority, recognition. The shadow side could be ego inflation, false leadership, and the spiritual lesson for this person is going to be, who am I beyond titles? If your Rahu is placed in the Cancer, dispositor will become Moon. So this will talk about the emotional hunger, validation dependency, strong intuition but unstable psyche. Healing will come through emotional regulation. If your Rahu is placed in the Aries or it is placed in the Scorpio, which makes Mars as the dispositor, so this will talk about the aggressive ambition, survival instincts, power struggle, dominance karma. Like the lesson is going to be controlled courage versus violence. If Mercury is going to be the dispositor, your Rahu is placed in the Gemini or it's in the Virgo. So this might lead towards obsession with ideas, communication, data, sharp intellect, but there could be nervousness in the mind as well. Hyper active mind. The remedy is mental discipline and silence. If Jupiter is going to be the dispositor, that will talk about the ideological hunger, belief system, can create a false guru or real wisdom. Test of dharma versus dogma. If Venus is going to be the dispositor, this will talk about the desire for the pleasure, beauty and relationship. Addiction to love or luxury might be possible. And the lesson is detachment within enjoyment. If Saturn is going to be the dispositor, your Rahu is placed in the Capricorn or in the Aquarius, this will talk about deep karmic pressure, delayed desires. This might also talk about the heavy past life obligations and ultimate liberation through discipline and service. So friends, see, the thing is, the dispositor's house, we will discuss that in sequence once I will give you an overview of the whole package. But look at it in this way, that the dispositor's house will give indication regarding the direction of the future karma. Like Rahu shows what you want. Dispositor's house shows where life will push you. So it's a half-cooked interpretation of the Rahu, where I see people talking about, they just see Rahu being placed in the 10th house and then they start narrating results. But what if the dispositor of the Rahu, that planet is placed in the 7th house, in the 8th house? So the whole chemistry will change because of that. So for example, if dispositor's house is ascendant, like it is placed in the 1st house, so there might be like future direction might be connected with the identity mutation. If it is in the 4th house, emotional security karma. If it is in the 7th house, relationship entanglement. If it is in the 10th house, career obsession. So that is what I'm trying to tell you, that just the mere placement of Rahu is a half-cooked picture. You have to see its dispositor. And obviously friends, like when people talk about Rahu's dispositor in the Dushtana Bhava, like 6th house, 8th house, 12th house. So this is where spiritual acceleration happens, but it happens through suffering. So the key insight is Rahu in the Dushtana does not deny success. It demands soul maturity first. 6th house, where you might have to first go through dealing with the enemies, health, service karma. If it is in the 8th house, sudden transformation, occult pull. If it is in the 12th house, isolation, foreign land, and the moksha test. So friends, in short, when you will be starting to do the analysis for the dispositor, obviously you have to see its strength as well. So its strength could be evaluated on 6 layers. You have to see the Shadbala. You have to see the Avastha, condition. You have to see the combustion. Is it combust or not? Because combustion, I would say that it is more problem causing than the retrogradation. Because people get confused. They say that retrograde is malefic, retrograde is erratic. Even erratic planet with its added cheshta bal, if it is placed in a favorable sign, can manifest results. But combustion somehow make the planet lose out its natural strength. So this is, and these are the layers on which you have to evaluate the strength of the dispositor. The Shadbal, Avastha, combustion, D9 dignity, conjunction, aspect from benefic or malefic, then you can come to the conclusion. So if dispositor has fallen in the D9, that will talk about Rahu promises illusion before the truth. So now friends, also because Rahu's dispositor, if Rahu is the central planet in your chart, so that means its dispositor's placement is not only important in the ascendant chart, it is equally important in the divisional chart. Like for example, in the D9 chart, Rahu's dispositor from the ascendant, here I'm not talking about D9, I'm talking about Rahu's dispositor from the ascendant chart. Its placement in the D9 will talk about, it shows the maturity of Rahu's desire. Weak dispositor here will talk about the karmic repetition. You might not be learning the lesson and getting entangled and deluded with the same confused desires. If it is in the, like when it comes down to the D10 chart or the Dasamsa, this will talk about the fame, scandal, or rise and fall patterns. In the D60 chart, Sastyamsa, it will reveal why Rahu is hungry. It will talk about the past life. So friends, in short, karmic timing, when we talk about Rahu Mahadasha versus the dispositor Dasha, like some of you would also ask this question that, Nipun, my Rahu is placed in the Cancer. So that means the dispositor of the Rahu will become Moon. So how shall I differentiate between the results which I will find in the Rahu Dasha compared to it with the dispositor, with the Moon's Dasha, for this example's sake? So Rahu Mahadasha can be seen as the activation, and the dispositor's Mahadasha can be seen as the either fulfillment or collapse. So if dispositor Mahadasha runs after the Rahu, it will come after the Rahu, so karma matures, truth of illusion will be revealed. So friends, we will have our elaborative discussion on that as well, where I will take up the reference chart, and that's how I will explain it to you. So all of these entities which I have selected for this discussion are very important. So because I'm sure many people would be like curious to ask, because for example, even in my case, I'm in the Saturn Mars Dasha. after that, next is obviously after the Mars, it is going to be the Antardasha of Rahu. And like some of my good astrologer friends, we keep on discussing different yogas and combination, and they all have been saying this thing: Nipun, the picture is not over. Like whatever the promise was there from the planet Mars to you, even if you haven't gotten that in the Antardasha of Mars, Rahu will deliver that, because Rahu is placed in its in the sign of the Mars. So I mean to say it's interconnected, but you have to understand how to distinguish between it. So let me explain that again. When we talk about the karmic timing, and you have to make a distinction between the Rahu Mahadasha versus the Dispositor Dasha. So for example, if Rahu is placed in the Sagittarius, so how will you differentiate between the Dasha of the Rahu versus the Dasha of its Dispositor? Sagittarius Lord is the Jupiter. So simply put, Rahu Mahadasha is the time of the activation, but its fulfillment or collapse will be decided by its Dispositor's Mahadasha, which is Jupiter in this case. Now friends, the spiritual resolution of Rahu via its Dispositor. So the classic remedy principle says, you do not pacify Rahu directly, you strengthen its master. So example, Rahu disposited by Saturn, so seva, fasting and discipline will become important. If like Rahu is being disposited by Jupiter, so Guru Bhakti, scripture. Now obviously it's Rahu, so there could be the interest in the foreign scripture as well, but this is what you have to do as a remedy. And when we talk about Rahu being disposited by the moon, so then that means mantra and the emotional healing will become important. So friends, all what I can say at the end is that Rahu is not your enemy, it is your future calling, which is poorly understood. The Dispositor is your karmic teacher. Ignore it, it will become obsession. You heal it, it will become your mastery. You transcend it, it will become the liberation. So Rahu shows the illusion you must enter. The Dispositor shows the wisdom you must acquire to exit it. So now friends, talking about the house-wise placement, and then I will take you to the certain reference charts as well as a case study for today's discussion. So now when we talk about Rahu's Dispositor placement, like house-wise, so this will tell about where the desire trains the soul. Now how to use this placement? So see, first of all, you have to locate Rahu's sign placement, obviously. Then identify its sign lord, which means Dispositor. Then see which house the Dispositor occupies. Then read the results, because we will be having our discussion on 4 planes. For example, what could be the psychological drive, what could be the karmic obligation, what could be the future life direction, and what could be the spiritual lesson. So I'm sure you would have understood it, that we will try to understand Rahu's Dispositor's placement in different houses on the category of psychological drive, karmic obligation, future life direction, and the spiritual lesson. So Rahu's house shows where hunger appears. Dispositor's house shows where karma must be worked out. Now friends, if Rahu's Dispositor is placed in the first house, now this talks about the identity karma activated. Now when we talk about the psychological pattern, you will definitely see this person to be like to have that obsession with the self-image, uniqueness, reinvention, feeling different or not belonging. Now friends, see, this is where you have to understand. In my case, my Rahu is placed in the first house. It is not as much valid in my case, but when I was working on these slides and all, so Rahu's Dispositor being in the 8th house in my chart, my passion, dedication to occult, that justifies that more. So again, that is why I'm telling you that if you have been following the pattern that the true result and the true dignity, the true code of the Rahu could be decoded only via looking at its chart placement, that is a half-cooked approach. You have to see the Dispositor, because that will tell you about from where the strings are being pulled. So if Rahu's Dispositor in your chart is placed in the first house, and if you have just straight away come to this section and you're confused. When I say dispositor, that means if your Rahu is placed in the Cancer, the lord of the Cancer is Moon. So Moon is your Rahu's dispositor. If your Rahu is placed in the Scorpio, the Scorpio lord is the Mars. So Rahu's dispositor is Mars. That is what we are talking about. So in your chart, wheresoever Rahu is placed, the zodiac sign lord, if it is placed in the first house, first, when we talk about the psychological pattern, it will give you obsession with the self-image. It could make you unique and you will be reinventing yourself. And you might feel different or that you do not belong. When we talk about the karmic theme, so past life suppression of identity. Current life demands self-definition. Now the future direction for you, obviously it's like it has more to do with the leadership, public visibility, self-branding, and there might be radical personality shift during Rahu period. Now again friends, a lot is dependent on the nature of this planet. Now if your Rahu's dispositor is a planet like Venus or the planet which represents public masses, Saturn or Moon, like this could be a time of like ruling the hearts of the masses or doing something very substantial, achieving something very substantial in the public domain. We can look at it like this. Now when we talk about the spiritual lesson for you, so ego must be refined, not inflated. Rahu here pushes identity. This could be towards enlightenment or this could be towards narcissism. Now friends, if your Rahu's dispositor is placed in the second house, so here it talks about the value and survival karma. The psychological pattern has got more to do with fear of loss, wealth anxiety, and speech fixation, desire to secure lineage and resources. Now, see, when we talk about the karmic theme, you might see that there might have been some past life instability in the family or wealth, which is in this lifetime giving you that unknown fear or obsession towards possession or amassing assets. It also tells about, when we talk about the karmic theme, speech karma as well. This could be truth or this could be truth versus manipulation as well. When we talk about the future direction, so wealth building, voice based professions, family karma dominates Rahu Dasha. You might be entangled. Now again friends, a lot is dependent on this dispositor's state and condition in the second house. If it is exalted, if it is placed in its own sign, in its own house over here, so this will be a time of rapid development. But if it is afflicted over here, then this could be a case that rather than heading towards growth, you might have to deal with inner turmoil within the family or the family related matters. Now the spiritual lesson for you with this placement of the dispositor of Rahu is detach self-worth from possessions. Now if the Rahu's dispositor in your chart is placed in the third house, see this has more to do with the willpower and the courage karma. That means the psychological pattern is going to be hunger for influence, communication, recognition. And this could also give restless nervous system. Now again friends, the strength and dignity of the planet over here will talk about, like, see, on and off we keep on coming across that someone who become relevant for a small span of time or become famous for a small span of time. So again, if it is a planet like, for example, Saturn, if it is a planet like Jupiter, the dispositor of Rahu, and it is strong in the third house, then this influence and communication which you will have, like you will retain that for long span of time. Otherwise we know that the declining attention span of people who become successful, become a celebrity, then suddenly from nowhere they go in hiding. Now no one remembers them. So a lot is dependent on the nature of the planet which is the dispositor of your Rahu, and it is placed in the third house. And if you are invested in the media, marketing, content creation, performing arts. But yes, there is a slight possibility of restless nervous system. Now the karmic theme is incomplete courage from the past life. We know that Rahu and Ketu are incomplete. So there might be issues with siblings or peers. The future direction for you is, this could be in media, writing, sales, digital influence, self-made rise after repeated effort. And the spiritual lesson for you is, discipline the mind before conquering the world. Now friends, if the Rahu's dispositor is placed in the 4th house, this talks more about the emotional security karma. The psychological pattern is inner emptiness despite outer success, attachment to comfort or homeland. The karmic theme is about past life emotional deprivation. This could be mother, home karma, unresolved, which you might have to do now in this birth, in this lifetime. The future direction for you could be in the fields of, in the realm of property, homeland shifts, emotional healing. Rahu events disturb inner peace to rebuild it. And the spiritual lesson for you is, peace is internal, not inherited. Now friends, if Rahu's dispositor is placed in the 5th house, it tells about intelligence and ego karma. Like the psychological pattern could be desire to shine, be admired, or be special. There might be that obsession with creativity. Now the karmic theme is, there might be a misuse of the intelligence in the past life, or this could be a case that you did a lot of the mantra chanting, was very much devoted to children, and have some unfulfilled wish connected with the progeny from the past life, and there might be speculation karma. So again friends, whatever I'm saying over here, a lot is dependent on the dignity of this planet in the trine house, in the 5th house, its strength. Now when we talk about the future direction for you, so that means creative leadership, fame, teaching. There might be risk reward cycles which is going to be very intense. In a way friends, I would say that this is a good placement because Rahu in itself is an intellectual planet. It works more on a mental plane. 5th house also has got something to do with that, and because it is the house of the Pur Punya, our righteous intellect, recovery of things. So I would say that this is a good placement if the dispositor of Rahu over here. I will not say Rahu individually being in the 5th house is good, but if Rahu's dispositor is in the 5th house and it is well placed, it is a good combination. It is a much better placement than Rahu in itself being in the 5th house. When we talk about the spiritual lesson, so intelligence without humility becomes downfall. Now friends, if the Rahu's dispositor is placed in the 6th house in your chart, so we know that it has got more to do with the enemy, disease, and the service karma. So the psychological pattern could be constant struggle mode, hyper competitiveness. Karmic theme is going to be some sort of past life debt with the enemies. Service obligations might be unfinished. The future direction for you could be in the field of medicine, law, litigation, healing, service, and there might be victory, but after initial struggle. That vipreet tendencies, we know that when the 6th house gets involved. The spiritual lesson for you is serve without resentment. Now friends, if the Rahu's dispositor in your chart is placed in the 7th house, see, this has got more to do with the relationship and the contract karma. So the psychological pattern is going to be dependency, projection, obsession with partners, and there might be fear of being alone as well. Now again, a lot is dependent on the planet's strength and dignity over here. Like let's say for example, if Rahu's dispositor is moon, and for example in your case you are a Taurus Lagna, your Rahu is placed in the 3rd house, that means it is in the Cancer, but the dispositor of Rahu, which becomes moon, it is debilitated in the 7th house. Then this could be a case that there might be fear of being alone. So yes, that's how you have to see the correlation of things. The karmic theme is going to be unfinished marriage karma, or this could be betrayal or imbalance from the past life. Now friends, the future direction with this placement, fated relationship and the business partnership. So the relationship you will get into and your business partnership, big major commercial opportunities are going to be very fated. Rahu Dasha is going to be going to be the relationship turning points for you. And friends, the spiritual lesson for you is always remember this dictum: others mirror unresolved self. Now friends, when we talk about if your Rahu's dispositor is placed in the 8th house, like this is transformation and occult karma. So the psychological pattern for you could be attraction to secrets, crisis, taboo things. There might be a blend of fear and fascination with the loss. Now the karmic theme with this placement is like, obviously it talks about heavy past life trauma, sudden karmic reversals. So now friends, a lot is dependent on Rahu's natal placement, dispositor's sign placement in the 8th house, and your moon nakshatra. Like for example, if you're born at the time of the Amavasya, you're born with your moon being in the Scorpio, and along with that you have your Rahu's dispositor being in the 8th house, then this will talk about this like heavy past life trauma or sudden karmic reversals. The future direction for you could be in the occult sciences, healing, research. There might be sudden rise and fall during the Rahu periods. And the spiritual lesson for you is surrender control and rebirth follows. Now friends, when we talk about the Rahu's dispositor being in the 9th house, so this has more to do with the dharma and the belief karma. Like the psychological pattern for you is about ideological hunger, guru fixation, or this could be rebellion in the name of your faith. The karmic theme for you is there might have been past life misuse of wisdom, and there is very strong father or guru karma. So the wisdom which you will get from the guru, or if your dispositor of Rahu is afflicted in the 9th house, Rahu individually is afflicted, the moon in itself does not have a pakshbal, then it will talk about some sort of betrayal which you will get from your mentors, from your guides. The future direction for you is in the realms of the teaching, philosophy, or foreign travel, and the faith crisis leading to wisdom. The spiritual lesson for you is truth must be lived, not preached. Now friends, if your Rahu's dispositor is placed in the 10th house, this tells more about the status and authority karma. Like that means the psychological pattern is going to be obsession with the achievement, fear of failure or insignificance. Like for this person, staying relevant becomes very important. You will see the difference between Rahu by its own being placed in the 10th, or Rahu is not placed in the 10th, its dispositor is placed in the 10th, because there you will see that the pull deep within you will be regarding being relevant, being famous, being in the limelight. So the psychological pattern with this placement is going to be obsession with achievement, fear of failure or insignificance. The karmic theme is incomplete worldly karma, public responsibility, debt. The future direction for you is high visibility careers, fame, scandal, rise or fall, depending on the state and dignity of this planet over here. Now the spiritual lesson for you is power test integrity. Now friends, if the Rahu's dispositor is placed in the 11th house, it has more to do with the desire fulfillment karma. That means the psychological pattern is endless goals and obsession with the networking, with the friends, and never enough. That is what your motto is in the life. Always pursuing, targeting for more. The karmic theme is past life greed or unrealized ambition. That is the only reason there is going to be a strong pull towards a specific direction in the life. The future direction is going to be massive gains after social alignment, digital fame, and possibility of mass influence. The spiritual lesson for you is desire multiplies until transcended. Now friends, if your dispositor of Rahu is in the 12th house, it has more to do with the moksha versus escape karma. The psychological pattern is isolation, escapism. There might be sleep issues, or there might be strong pull towards the foreign entities, foreign land, foreign national. The karmic theme for you is final karmic clearing, past life renunciation, or there might be many encounters, experience of loss in the life. Future direction for you is connected to the spiritual retreat, foreign lands, liberation or addiction depending on the strength of the dispositor in this house. And the spiritual lesson for you is let go, nothing is owned here. So friends, I'm sure you would have understood the gist, the context. Rahu's house tells about where illusion enters. Dispositor house, which we have discussed, it talks more about where karma must be paid. And the dispositor's strength will talk about whether desire will enslave you or it will liberate you. Now friends, after this, let's briefly look at certain reference chart as well. So for example, because I have made a presentation of certain celebrity charts as well. Now again friends, I want to be very clear over here. So don't be in this mindset that whether the ascendant is right or not, because I will be just looking at Rahu's zodiac sign and the sign lord, the dispositor lord, based on that. Because if we will get into that credibility debate that whether the chart which I am showing is correct ascendant or not, then it will take you away from the learning of this video, which is very important. Because I'm sure so far, same like me, you would have been focused more towards just giving attention to Rahu's house placement. But more than the Rahu's house placement, it's the dispositor which has got the answers, which has got the intent. We say that the deep state is Rahu's dispositor. Now friends, let's take up another chart of our dear Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. We have to see there must be something special in his chart, like from being raised from such a humble background and reaching to such a powerful position, like where he is not only considered as India's leader, but he has carved a name for himself even in the international leadership forum as well. So there must be something in his chart. Now Scorpio Lagna friends, we have to focus more on the Rahu. Rahu is in the 5th house in the Pisces, and the dispositor is there in the 4th house. So what does it tell about? Because in this discussion we are only looking at the Rahu and its dispositor. See, it talks about Rahu is definitely connected to the mass influence and the authority. So Rahu, here I'm not talking about the person, I'm talking about Rahu. So there was a hunger for national identity and leadership. What does dispositor tell about? So dispositor, if you will see over here, if you will give attention, so dispositor in a way, because it is sitting in a sign being ruled by the planet Saturn, and Saturn is looking back at its sign. Saturn is giving aspect back to the 4th house. So what does it tell about? It tells about dispositor is under strong Saturn discipline. Ascetic lifestyle aligns with dispositor's nature. D9 also strengthens the same dispositor. And now comes the question, why he rose and stayed. So Rahu's ambition and Saturn's containment. Personal sacrifice stabilized the desire. Power came after endurance. He has dealt with so much of the allegation, accusation. He still stood firm. And see where he is right now. So the destiny pattern. So it talks more about the late rise, massive responsibility, longevity over popularity. So his name will stay. And I'm sure like the way in Indian history, the way the names of the Gandhi and the Gandhi family has been taken, Narendra Modi has created that legacy that his name will be taken with the equal level of respect, I'm sure. So friends, the advanced takeaway from Narendra Modi ji's chart is when Saturn trains Rahu's dispositor, ambition becomes destiny, not the ego. Now friends, if we will briefly look at the chart of the Britney Spears as well. Now her chart is very important because these are those people like in early 2000 and all. So they have had that global fame. Now whether they capitalized on it or what happened afterwards, we have to see, because in these kind of scenarios, Rahu always has a major say. So if you will look at her chart, in Britney Spears' chart as well, her Rahu is placed in the Gemini. Rahu is placed in the Gemini in the 10th house, and the dispositor has gone in the 3rd house. Now what does it tell about? And the dispositor has gone to the Scorpio sign. So friends, see, in her case you can see that the Rahu is tied to the public image, glamour, mass adoration, early life exposure. See, Rahu being placed in the 10th house, Rahu did its part. It brought the glamour and the mass fame, that too early in the life. That was the core Rahu theme. Now, if we will look at the dispositor's condition, so the dispositor is emotionally fragile, like it is afflicted like in a moon type influence, and the D9 collapse of the emotional stability is also very like visible. Now what failed in her case? So Rahu fame arrived before psychic maturity. Dispositor could not regulate emotional load, and external control replaced inner autonomy. So the destiny pattern in her case is early success, mental breakdown, and long recovery cycle. So the takeaway is that if Rahu matures before the dispositor, the psyche fractures under success. Now friends, I wanted to take up the case of the Russian President Vladimir Putin as well. Now again, I will not discuss about that whether his ascendant is correct or not. We will be primarily focusing more on the zodiac sign only. Zodiac sign and the sign dispositor. That's it. So if you will look at like Putin's chart, like so the chart which I am presenting over here, you will see that Rahu is placed in the 4th house, that too in the Capricorn. Like definitely, like people who have been there in power for such a long span of time, like this could be Chinese president, this could be Russian president. So you will definitely see that somehow the 4th house is going to be, there's going to be a lot of the earthy quality, earth quality, groundedness, stability you will see. And even if you will look at the dispositor of the Rahu, so obviously we know this thing that he was a KGB spy. That's how he started. And there have been those controversies, rumors where he has poisoned his enemies and his surveillance is very strong, all of that. So if you will even decode this placement of Rahu and the dispositor, so the core Rahu theme has got more to do with. Rahu is linked to power, secrecy and strategy, long-term dominance instinct. Dispositor being in the... Now friends, when we talk about the dispositor's condition, so that also tells about, because we can fairly see the prominence of the Saturn over here, and 12th house also tells about the containment as well, and the dispositor is also stable in the D9 chart as well, the chart and the details on which I have worked. So emotional detachment is preserved. Now why power has been sustained for so long? Because Rahu desires are calculated, not impulsive. Dispositor never weakened by indulgences, because otherwise we have seen like many of the presidents, prime ministers who have been in the news for their lush lifestyle, indulgences and all. So Rahu desires were calculated, they were not impulsive. Dispositor never weakened by indulgences, and there has been strategy over emotion. So the advanced takeaway in his chart is cold Rahu with a hardened dispositor creates longevity at moral cost. So friends, I will summarize it on this note that Rahu never destroys a life, an immature dispositor does. Or Rahu decides the height, but it's the dispositor which decides whether you survive the altitude. So okay friends, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. Once again, thanks a lot for watching this video, and whatever I have explained over here, how you resonate with that based on your personal chart, based on Rahu's dispositor, its placement in your natal chart, and what has been your life journey. Do share that, do write that in the comment section. It's a research platform, we all learn from each other. So okay friends, for furthermore updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic Astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.